What's up, guys? This is JamesBl0nde with OnRPG.com. This time getting a first look at a game I've been waiting for a good part of a year now from Red 5 Studios, FireFall. And this game places itself in a unique class of open-world MMO first-person shooters. And as I look at the game, the looks, the creatures, the quests, Borderlands is the first game that comes to mind. But unlike Borderlands, you've got more crafting, more class flexibility, and jet boots similar to Tribes. So I got a chance to borrow an account from a friend of mine to play in beta, so now I can give you an idea of what to expect when you pick up FireFall. Starting out creating your character, you've got 5 battle frames or classes to choose from. The Assault class, Engineer, Recon, Medic, and the tanky Dreadnought. Now you can change your battle frames at any point at the battle frame stations. However, when you create your character's looks for the first time, you stick with them throughout the game. There are plenty of feature changing options to give your character that unique look. You can even select the voice style from several options, but choose wisely because you'll be hearing the voice every time you need to reload.
Jacked him up!
As for the battle frames, the Assault class uses a blast-oriented weapon system, fairly heavy armor, decent health bar, and is capable of soaking up a lot of damage and dishing out a punishing payback. This popular frame will always have its place in the battlefield and is typically the go-to suit for beginners.
Reloading!
The Engineer, the lightest battle frame in the arsenal, can deploy and upgrade personal turrets, and as a support, they're handy to have around. The Engineer has a primary weapon that repairs its turrets very similar to the other repair-based classes. However, it has a limited ammo supply and has to scavenge for ammo just like everyone else. Another support class, the Medic, wields a bioblaster which can heal soldiers on the fly, or with upgrades, alter performance characteristics of the target, boosting adrenaline or providing additional dexterity and coordination to maximize the damage output of the target soldier. The Recon or Sniper class is everything you know as a sniper, with light armor, good agility, and of course long-range fire to break up the enemy onslaught, all while resting upon the safe cliffs above. The Dreadnought is a great combination of offense and defense. Wielding a huge minigun that you would normally find as a turret in most first-person shooters when you're mowing down fields of enemies, the Dreadnought can also activate a heavy energy shield to take the most damage on the battlefield. This class, when paired with a Medic, is closely related to the Heavy in Team Fortress 2, to give you an idea. Each class is leveled up independently, so it's great to have them all rounded out. Each battle frame has a primary and secondary weapon. The secondary weapon for all of the classes is a typical but very useful Accord standard issue assault. The primary and secondary fire of each class's main weapon can be customizable based on the weapons you buy or find around the world over time. You can change your class loadout at a loadout modification terminal in the town areas, and from here you can compare and equip new armor, weapons, and modifications such as damage output modules for the Assault class, or healing ability and duration for medics. Oh yeah, and all the battle frames have jump jets, which can also be tweaked with upgrades. Thankfully, FireFall has 0 invisible walls, so you can really make use of these convenient jet boots. Similar to Borderlands, each of the battle frames have a unique ability module such as the Medic's Healing Wave, the Recon's Resonating Bolt, or the Dreadnought's Heavy Shield. Now you can't just fight your way into beast mode with all these abilities. Similar to your weapons, you have to come across the right technology to build them, by gathering the appropriate resources to craft them, or good loot dropped by the swarms of creatures you'll end up slaughtering. And just like any other MMO exists the crafting system. FireFall takes a good crack at the crafting system in the form of nanoprints. Nanoprints can be purchased from different shops or sometimes given to you during quests. Each nanoprint is a recipe for different items and identifies the necessary resources needed to gather to create that item in one of the manufacturing stations. FireFall has an awesome approach to resource gathering. Instead of the typical MMO formula of acquiring a mining tool or learning gathering skills, the player first creates a scanner hammer that the player then uses like Thor to smash into the ground, releasing a huge rippling wave that detects nearby resources and identifies them. Once you've found resources, you can call down a thumper, or harvester, that extracts the precious resources while you sit back and relax. Not exactly. For some reason, calling down a thumper makes the surrounding natives a bit angry. This is where teamwork in the game is emphasized. There's always groups of players gathering resources, and hopefully by helping these players fend off the swarms of zerglings, piranhas, They return the favor by aiding you in your very own onslaught of insects as you gather your work. And it does seem that the amount of enemies varies on the amount of players helping the gatherer, but it's more challenging to attempt this on your own. The creatures you end up facing are nearly as diverse as any that you would find in a normal MMO. The first creatures you encounter look like a smaller version of the bugs in Starship Troopers. These are called the Iranas. Along with the various types of Iranas, they are often found partnered up with caustic scarabs and some Iranas that freeze or explode, so be sure to kill them a safe distance away from your thumper. You will also encounter various dinosaur-looking threshers and big-ass mosquitoes. Plus, there are humanoid enemies that can pose a threat as well, called the Chosen.
Shoot me while I reload.
That seem to have their own various battle frames and simulate AI-driven open-world PvP, working as a team to try to bring you down. All these creatures make for an exciting PvE experience, so I say bring on the kill X number of bad guys quests. Now, there are plenty of things in the game that overall make it badass. The glider is one of those things. If you need to get somewhere quick, the glider is the way to do it. And throughout the world, you may find random supply crates that give you health and ammo, or just plain stations that supply you with these goods as well. The game still seems early in beta, and as of right now doesn't have too many quests besides the daily resources must flow, which I discussed earlier as defend the thumper.
That's it.
The first couple of quests you get you used to the game and give you street credit with the town NPCs. You might also find quests that have you gather resources to craft items for upcoming quests, as well as stumble upon some side quests that have you scavenge thumper parts or search and destroy chosen missions. Sort of like an AI PvP match. Once you've grown tired of the constant barrage of bugs and other baddies, you can queue yourself up for some fast-paced and heavy-action PvP, while playing one of the three options of either Team Deathmatch, Sabotage, or Harvester. You really get a sense of how well balanced the battle frames can be. The matches hold plenty of players, and the maps have plenty of layers you can access thanks to the jet boots and the lack of invisible walls. Whether you're a recon, assault, or medic battle frame, each has its ability to be very one-on-one. However, the most victorious teams have a good understanding of how all the battle frames work together as a whole. But no matter how good your team is, you still have times when your teammates are down. And thankfully that's not the end of the line, as you can revive fallen teammates. But be aware your opponents may be just around the corner trying to finish them off with a jet boot to the face. And while keeping one eye on the enemies, snipers, and dreadnoughts, you'll want to use the other eye to look out for various stations that spawn bonus team stat buffs such as double damage. But just because you spawn it doesn't mean you get it. You still have to find it first.
We have double damage.
Another match in PvP is Sabotage, which is an assault and defense style PvP match. With 2 rounds, you alternate between attacking and hacking the enemy's mainframe, or holding off the other team's attempt to hack yours. I was bummed that I didn't get a chance to look at a Harvester match, but overall FireFall doesn't fall short with its PvP. One really unique feature FireFall has that no other MMO has tried to do is deliver its content in a form that Red 5 calls staged content. And what this means is, unlike other MMOs where developers deliver the content as fast as they can make it, FireFall relies on group-wide efforts among its players to push back the melding, which is their form of implementing new content. So the plan is, upon release, the game will actually have more content ready than the players can access. From here, certain level-based quests will be issued to the entire player community, and only with the cooperation of everyone will new areas and content be available. This approach is very risky and, like I said, hasn't been tried by other MMOs, but if it works out as planned, it can really give a good sense of ownership to the game. FireFall seems to have done a whole lot of good things in a free-to-play model. Even this early in the beta, the patches coming out are already getting rid of the various minor bugs while introducing new content, making the experience that much better. I'm really looking forward to seeing what happens with FireFall in the future, but with that said, thanks for watching my impressions of FireFall. If you're interested in a staged content approach that Red 5 is introducing, Extra Credits has a detailed video explaining the workings of the melding. For more general information about the game, check out the game profile at onrpg.com by clicking the link in the description below. But first, hit that like button. I'm JamesBl0nde. See you out there, gamers.
Hey there. You look pretty.